I think it's safe to say that the Seattle Seahawks are one of the best 2 or 3 teams in the NFL at this point. Sam Darnold's clicking. Jackson Smith-Njigba looks like the best wide receiver in all of football. The offensive line looks pretty damn good as well, although I will say based off of watching this tape, Anthony Bradford struggled a lot last night. And we're going to get into all of this. I'm very excited to get into this video. Again, I think the Seattle Seahawks looked really impressive on the offensive line. Now, we do have to keep in mind the Houston Texans had the #1 defense coming into this game right here. They just don't give up many points on the defensive side. They're constantly forcing turnovers and winning games for that team. But the Seahawks came out there and the offensive line imposed its will. And we're going to talk about it, man. Really excited for this one. We're going to start right away with this 27-yard pass that set up the first touchdown for the Seahawks. I mean, this was such a beautiful play. One of the things that the Texans do is they play aggressive, specifically against the run. You will see this team either stack the box, and when they're not stacking the box right, and let's say they have 2 safeties deep, one of these 2 safeties is going to come downhill super hard. But in this one here, they're going to stack the box, and the Seahawks are going to attack that. You have a cornerback here who has outside containment, and the Seahawks are going to play action to that side, and the corner is going to step up here, and you're going to see the tight ends just run right by him, right? Obviously, Elijah Arroyo is going to be the one that gets this catch. Both tight ends were fairly open on this one. I love the play designs. I love the execution by the Seattle Seahawks right now. The way they're designing these concepts is just really smart. And I want you guys to watch the center on this one. Look at the center come on this back block, and he's going to essentially make sure the quarterback doesn't get sacked or tackled from the backside. I know it's such a small thing to watch Sundell jump set to the right because it's a play action, but then come back to the left to protect the backside of the quarterback, especially given there wasn't really any pressure coming from that side. But it's smart football. And this is the thing you're going to notice watching the Seahawks. A lot of what the Seahawks are doing right now is just very smart. And it's picking up chunk plays for this team. You got a really nice play here. This one's going to go for 32 yards, Cooper Kupp. We talk about stressing the defense. One of the concepts that the Seahawks run a lot is going to be what is called the Yankee. And generally speaking, you have a post route paired up with a deep cross. But the Seahawks are going to add this little twist where they're going to have Cooper Kupp essentially slip, and he's going to end up getting wide open. To me, it's just a really smartly designed play. And again, the execution part of it is really nice as well. The offensive linemen hold up. You have a tight end that's going to run the split zone action. And it all just works really well. You got Sam Darnold here calling it out. He's going to call the protection. He's going to make sure they check into the right play. Play action, split zone action, and Cooper Kupp's wide open. I mean, that is a phenomenal play right there. 32 yards on this one. Now, on this play right here, I want you guys to keep an eye on this safety. Notice how downhill he comes on this play. As soon as the ball snaps, watch this guy. He's going to run downhill. He's going to get into the run fit, and he's essentially going to be the extra defender in the box. Now, this is what the Texans do on the defensive side. They go 2 safeties deep, which is going to give them a light box. What that means is the numbers right now are favoring the Seattle Seahawks. But again, what they're going to do is that safety's going to come downhill. He's reading those offensive linemen to the running back, right? He's recognizing that pattern. So here's what the Seahawks do. So the Seattle Seahawks, when they see this front and they know they want to run the football, are going to start to design slow action type of plays, right? Draw plays, for example. Because what you're seeing from the offensive lineman is essentially they're going to pass block. If you're the safety up here to the top left and you see these guys stepping back and they're essentially looking like they're about to pass block, you're not coming downhill. So now you're in a light box situation and really you're running a ISO draw where the fullback's going to pick off the inside linebacker. And as a safety, well, you read it as a passing play. So the running back on this one picks up 9 yards. Again, just smart football. Phenomenal play calling by the offensive coordinator. The Seattle Seahawks did this a number of times. Here's another one. You got the 2 safety high look. Once again, you're going to run draw ISO. And on this one, you're going to pick up 16 yards. Again, chunk plays, chunk yards, coming out of really nicely designed concepts. And the fact that you're showing a passing play when it's a team that wants to play light box, they want to come downhill with their safeties and they want to fit the run. I mean, again, it's just smart football. Now, I also do want to go ahead and switch focus. I want to talk a little bit about Anthony Bradford, who struggled a lot last night. Now, I do understand, he's a young football player still, so you can still continue to have him play and continue to develop. These reps are going to make him better. This one is an 11-yard touchdown, but Bradford just gets beat. I mean, straight bull rushed by the defensive tackle. I mean, you got to be able to anchor down against power. And Bradford's strong, too, but the technique's not perfect. He's a little high on this one. And there are a ton of plays like this on tape that you'll see from Bradford. Here's another one. The D tackle is going to end up bull rushing Bradford right back into the quarterback. Quarterback feels the pressure. He gets the ball out. The ball is going to end up getting tipped. Again, you got to do a better job being able to stop the power by the D tackle. You got to be able to anchor down. You cannot allow this guy to be lower than you the way he ultimately is. You got to be able to anchor down on this one. And again, Bradford's still young, right? So he's still developing and learning, but he's just too high on this play right here. Bradford's going to get out of his stance initially. He's not super high. The hands don't land to the inside, and you can see the defensive tackle right away. Hands already to the inside. He's already lifting up Bradford. He's already forking him upwards. You can already see the leverage is lost right away. And with that, he's not going to be able to drop that anchor. He's going to essentially get pushed back. The quarterback's going to run out of time. You see Bradford's guy kind of breaks the pass up there. You're going to have a defensive line game here. This is a difficult block to make for a lot of offensive linemen, but if you want to be a long-term starting caliber offensive lineman, you got to be able to pick this stuff up. Now, this is the play in which Elijah Arroyo obviously gets stripped. Unfortunate play, but these type of plays from the offensive lineman, you got to be able to hold up here. And we will talk about some of the other guys as well, but again, you got to just be quicker in passing this off. And he does do a pretty nice job, right? He makes sure that Abraham Lucas gets put into a good spot. But him coming back around to the defensive end just is not quick enough. And Sundell tries helping, but you do generate that pressure on the quarterback. You want to be able to keep him clean. Not a terrible rep, but it is a losing rep. He isn't able to stop the defensive line game. So you got to do a better job on that one. On this one here, he's going to end up just getting straight beat by the long three technique. The Houston Texans at this point have realized that, hey, we want to attack Anthony Bradford. He's the guy we want to go after. He's the guy that makes the most sense for us. And what they're going to do is they're going to line up 3 defensive linemen to the right side of the center. They're going to show all these different guys potentially blitzing over here off the edge. And that's going to make the offensive line essentially be responsible for certain guys. And that's going to put the right guard into a one-on-one with Danico Autry. And on this one, Bradford's going to just straight get beat by Autry. And to me, you just got to do a better job. To me, when guys lean, it just kind of means that they're a little nervous. Maybe the game is a little bit too fast for them. So what they're doing is they're trying to strike a guy or lean into a guy early when they don't have to. And with this one, Bradford leans forward. Danico Autry just ends up jumping right around him, swims over the top. And there's nothing you can do on this one. The center tries to help. It's just a very, very difficult thing to do at this point. But to me, Bradford has to do a better job. These are just the passing plays that I'm showing you guys. There's probably like 7, 8 run plays as well in which Bradford ends up losing. I'll just show you guys a couple. On this one here, you're going to have a zone run towards the right. Danico Autry is going to just set that edge super quickly. No movement either by the right guard. Your guy can set the edge. That's not an issue. But the thing is you can't have him both set the edge and get off the block, and you don't generate any movement. Because then what ends up happening is the running back has to bend it back inside sooner than he may want to. So to me, you got to do a little bit of a better job sticking with the block. So on this play here, you're going to get duo, which is a power-based run concept. The left tackle is going to block outwards. The tight end is actually going to wham this over here towards the right. Left guard center are going to double team the 2-eye. And they're going to double team this up to the linebacker there. That means 75-72 have the double here up to 0. And if the linebacker here shoots the gap to the left, the right guard has to get off of it right away. And in this instance, he's just too slow. And this one's actually going to lose about 1.5, 2 yards. So Bradford doubles an issue, which is the right thing to do. But you have to get your eyes to the inside linebacker here. You can see that he tries getting there. It's just going to be a little late. You'll see this double is actually going to go properly up to this linebacker as well. So we know for a fact Bradford has to get up to this linebacker. He just does not do it. So again, you got to do a better job. You got to understand the actual play call. You got to be able to get to your guys. Now, I'm not criticizing Bradford just to criticize him. Obviously, at this point, he is the weak link of the Seattle Seahawks. And I do want to see him continue to develop and continue to get better. But let's talk about some of the guys that flashed. One of the matchups I wanted to watch was Lucas going up against Will Anderson. Now, I have the belief that Will Anderson is, if not a top 2 or 3 defensive end, he's definitely top 5. And this was the matchup I wanted to watch because Lucas is getting healthier. He's kind of getting back to form. And we know Lucas, from a technique standpoint, is really, really, really solid. And I wanted to see how he handles a guy like Anderson. How does he change up the pass sets? How does he attack a guy like Anderson? And generally speaking, the guy was really, really solid against Anderson. He had a lot of one-on-one blocks going up against Will Anderson, and he did a really good job most of the time. Truth be told, I was actually really surprised with how well Lucas handled a guy like Anderson. Because again, I think he's one of the top 2 or 3 guys at that position. The guy's a phenomenal football player. But yesterday, we didn't really hear his name. He did have the one play in which the quarterback did fumble the football. I think Sam Darnold made a mistake by trying to throw the football. But even then, that came off the left tackle. Really, really nice play on this one. And again, there's a lot of these type of plays where Lucas just stays on top of it. On this one here, the Houston Texans are going to end up lining up Anderson in the wide 9. And look at Lucas. Look at him close that distance as he gets into his pass set. And he just shuts it down. He anchors really well against Anderson. Now, on this one here, you got a 2nd and 21. So this was a key moment of the game. You know, you want to score a touchdown. You want to try getting up by, potentially 3 touchdowns or make it a 3-score game. This was the drive, and more than that, 2nd and 21 usually is a true pass blocking situation for an offensive tackle. It's a true pass rushing opportunity for the edge players. And look at Lucas here as he gets into the 45-degree set. Phenomenal job with the hand placement. I mean, it does not get better than this. Look, the latch, perfect. Right hand inside, left hand on the shoulder pad. It doesn't get better than that, right? You're not going to beat this if you're a defensive end. And if Lucas is able to just consistently get those hands the way he does on these guys. That is such a phenomenal rep right there by Lucas. But again, we saw this over and over and over again when Lucas went up against Will Anderson. In fact, I think Anderson probably won 2 reps going up against Lucas, and Lucas probably won the other 15, if not more. And also do keep in mind, there were reps where Anderson was double teaming. I'm not showing you guys those. But just a really, really good job by Lucas, right? Again, close that distance between him and Anderson. If you don't take that fight directly to this guy, if you let him get his speed going, right? If you as an offensive tackle say, I'm going to take a vertical set or a 45-degree set when Anderson's in this wide 9, he's going to just beat you with the speed and power to the outside. So for Lucas, I think it was very important for him to change up the pass sets. And again, just a really, really nice rep going up against Anderson on this one. Here are the type that we're essentially skipping. We don't want to look at these double team type of reps because they don't really matter, right? Lucas obviously gets the help, and most likely he's going to win these type of plays. Now I should go ahead and just throw this out there. In the 4th quarter, Anderson actually switched sides. He went up and lined up over Charles Cross. And he did have some winning reps. Cross also had some nice reps as well, like you see on this one. That's a pretty nice job being able to stick on top of Anderson. You don't get caught leaning. You'll see Anderson actually do a pretty nice job with the hands. Cross is not going to lean. He's going to have a really nice base. You'll see Anderson with the right arm remove the leverage. Cross is going to reset the feet and ends up just getting the hands right back to Anderson. But he did have some losing reps as well. On this one here, he's going to actually end up getting called for a hold. So although the pass is incomplete, they actually end up going back 10 yards on this one. He did have one other play that he obviously made. This one came from the 7-yard line. You can make the argument it's not just on Cross. The pocket collapses from all around, right? Lucas gets kind of collapsed a little bit. Charles Cross gets collapsed as well. And you can even make the argument the quarterback should have probably thrown this football sooner rather than later. Given you're at the 6-yard line, you're in shotgun. It's a 3-step drop. You gotta throw this pass, right? You can't look to make this type of play. So I don't even put this one on Cross, to be 100% honest with you. I think it's just the type of play where pocket's gonna collapse, right? Not a huge deal. Obviously, the Seahawks don't end up winning the football. I just want to show you guys a couple more snaps. They're nice run plays that I saw from the offensive lineman. You're going to have a really nice double team block by the center and left guard. Both of these guys for the next 10 years could be the starting left guard center combo for the Seattle Seahawks. And truth be told, even left tackle and right tackle could be the guys for the next 10 years. But just a really, really nice job here, man. Look at how the center's going to double team the 2-eye. And as he double teams, look at the left guard, Zabel, turn this outwards. I mean, to me, this block is phenomenal. This play does not pick up 16 yards without the block by Zabel. 16 yards on this one. That's because of the left guard right there being able to turn it out. But of course, the help of the center as well really helps this one out. Just a really nice job by those two guys. On this one here, you're going to have an inside trap play. Keep an eye on the left guard. He's going to end up trapping the long 3 technique. And just a really nice job being able to get to his block. You're going to pick up about 4 yards, so it's not a huge gain. But the block is really, really nice by Zabel. And he's developing really well as well. He had some losing snaps in this game as well. But generally speaking, when you're a rookie, when you're a first-year offensive lineman in the NFL, you're going to have some struggles. But again, he was very, very solid at moving people, opening up some nice lanes. This 2-yard touchdown comes right behind Zabel as well, or at least his block had a pretty nice impact on this one. Really nice job reaching. I believe that's Mario Edwards, who's going to be lined up to the outside shoulder of him. Again, just quick, physical, ends up releasing Cross, who ends up getting to the next level. This play doesn't pop without these two guys getting to this guy, as well as I believe it's the linebacker there. Just a really, really nice job by those two guys. And this one, 2-yard touchdown. And obviously, I already showed you guys a couple blocks with the center, but he was really, really good as well when it came to, moving people and making contact with people, turning people, reaching people. Sundell has been one of the best finds at that center position that I've seen in a long time, right? The guy is doing a really good job for the Seahawks right now. And I almost feel like people forget that he's a first-time starter in the NFL, right? He's starting for literally the first season, so he's technically still a rookie as well. And you have some really nice, high-quality blocks. Plays like this, right? You got the two-eye technique. You got to get in front of him. He does a really nice job being able to kind of get there. Zabel helps him as well. Right, double team climbs up. The Seattle Seahawks look really good this season, man, and I'm excited to continue watching this team. I just want to wrap it up with some final thoughts. The Seahawks 2 years ago were in a completely different spot when it came to their offensive line. They got into a position where they started drafting some young talents. They had to make some decision on some other guys, right? Like Damian Lewis was in his final year of his deal. They weren't 100% sure with some of the other offensive linemen they had on the inside. Guys like Phil Haynes was kind of up and down. And here they are 2 years later, and they have so much potential on that offensive line. The unit looks really, really good, and it's one of those things where, so much can change in such little time. When the Seahawks had Pete Carroll 3 years ago, I did not think that was a playoff caliber team. I didn't think the coaching staff was doing all that good of a job. And then here you are after the Pete Carroll era. You're in the Mike McDonald era. You move off of Geno Smith. You end up bringing in Sam Darnold. You draft Jackson Smith-Njigba when other people are saying, there are 3 or 4 other wide receivers to take. And you just constantly hit on these picks. Abraham Lucas looks like a franchise guy. You get him in the 3rd round. That doesn't generally happen. Some people wrote off Charles Cross early on, and he's developed really well as well. I think the Seattle Seahawks are in such a great spot, and the future for this team is super, super bright. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. Seahawk fans, you guys deserve all the success that you're having right now. And let me know what you guys think, man. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time with another video.